really get the pulse of what's going on with our current 2020 college grads and where they're at and where they see it. Some of them are amazing hustlers, like who we're going to have on. It's probably not the right word to use, hustler, but she's amazing. She's already created a niche for herself. She is a very big TikToker, all over social media, understands digital marketing. So she's got her foot in the game already, which is impressive. Some folks are like, I don't know. I graduated. What do I do? So at least our guest, has this amazing talent that digital marketing and social media and understanding social media. Kind of the vibe for Wednesdays is always going to be either social, talking about current events and social, or entertainment. Today we're going to talk about the employment side of the house, the future, and dive into some do's and don'ts on social. So I think it's time for us to get to the point.
Hello.
Hey.
Hello.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm good. How are you?
Congratulations.
Thank
You're
you.
our
Thank
college
you.
graduate.
It still doesn't feel like it, just because, I mean, as you probably know, there was not an official in-person ceremony, so it's still a new feeling.
How does that feel? I'd love to know what that feels like. You go to school for all this time, and you went to Texas, right? You're a
Yes, University of Texas at Austin. Hook 'em horns.
Yeah, I know. So what was that like? I mean, that graduation is supposed to be pretty killer. I mean, my friends tell me Matthew McConaughey shows up, all your guys' alumni.
The whole shebang. Yeah, so normally there's 10,000 people in my class, and it's like by the tower, fireworks, crazy. And I mean, we definitely didn't have that, but it was still an amazing experience. We had an online version of like our college graduation and then the entire university one. And so it's honestly just a lot of mixed feelings right now of excitement, also being sad. I moved back home. I'm currently in New Jersey. And so it's mixed feelings. I'm excited, but it also doesn't feel real just because there was no concrete ending. It kind of, at least the way that UT handled it, it went from, hey, we may not come back from spring break. And so we went into spring break. They announced in the middle of spring break that we have an extra week of spring break. And then they go, oh, just kidding, we're not coming back. So it was definitely an interesting transition. And that's overall what I'm getting just from my friends and other people in college right now as seniors. It was just kind of, it was a lot to adjust to and figure out as time went by, definitely.
I got to ask you, I went to school in Manhattan, so I had an entirely different graduating experience in terms of like the volume of my class.
Yeah.
But like for me, all I think about is like that last semester of your senior year.
Yeah.
You're just like, you're anxious, you're excited, but you're also there to prove yourself. I mean, as actors having showcases, sports having like really just trying to make that last semester be the shiny semester. How was that for you? What is your major?
I studied fashion merchandising. And so I'm looking to go into, but my internships have been within post-production and video editing. So I'm hoping to go into more of the video editing side for the fashion industry, whether it's commercials, short form video content across social media. That's my area, but it's definitely been interesting just because normally without COVID, for fashion hiring it's relatively later. Like one of my roommates is in engineering and is doing engineering for Amazon. And that process happened way into last semester, and that's relatively secure. Whereas for me, it was all supposed to happen in March and April, even though before I was reaching out to people. I had interned at a company for the past like 2 summers. That was going to happen, hopefully get a job there. And then because of COVID, I was interviewing at the point that COVID was really ramping up. I was interviewing at like 3 or 4 places, going well, having multiple rounds, like about to hopefully, like you're waiting for college. You're like, oh, okay, I got this whole degree. And it's supposed to be to then get hired. And then pretty much, at least for the fashion industry, really suffered a lot. And there has been hiring freezes. And so all of the roles that I have been interviewing for hit hiring freezes. And so now it's just a matter of figuring out who to reach out to, networking, but also recognizing that a lot of people that are already in these companies have been either like laid off, furloughed, or they're just not hiring. There's not the opportunity. So it's been interesting attempting to navigate that while also keeping, I guess, my self-esteem up as well, and recognizing that like it's okay. Like this is a crazy time for everyone, and trying to keep persevering through that as well.
I mean, that makes total sense because
Yeah.
I when I started my business, I used to produce independent fashion shows to the public. What people don't
Oh,
understand
cool.
is that, yeah, I mean, what people don't understand is that spring is done in fall and fall is done in spring. So,
Exactly.
you know, this quarantine and the COVID hit the States, I would say right after February Fashion Week in New York. And
Yeah.
I was actually in London at the time. So it was interesting to see how like Fashion Week was spreading because it goes New York and then it goes Paris and all that great
Yep.
stuff. And you know, you have like your merchandising, where you outsource your fabric from, where where you're manufactured. I mean, I can only imagine how
The whole
much
supply
industry has
chain.
changed. So you said that, you know, you've been in video and post. That's great. That's like my heartbeat goes there. So that's amazing.
Love that.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Have you thought that maybe perhaps because it's a unique situation, has this situation helped you more in going after your career, or do you think it's really put a full stop into your dreams?
I don't think full stop. It's definitely a little bit of both. I would describe it as a roller coaster, at least for me personally. I can't speak for everyone, obviously. But for me, it's been certain times of like, okay, let's hustle. Like I've been hustling, I mean, for the past few years, just even before college, trying to get into college. And then now, so it's definitely a mix. There have been times that I'm just down because I was so close to just like finally getting that job. I really worked hard throughout college to get as many internships and opportunities as possible to build up my resume for when I moved back to New York City and attempting to enter the industry here. So it's definitely a mix. Like there's certain times I was just like talking to my family that I definitely get in a funk and I'm a little like, you know, kind of throw myself a little bit of a pity party. And then the next hour, I'll just be like, okay, know what? It's not time to throw yourself a pity party. Like, it's okay that you had that, but now let's move on from it, keep pushing, and hopefully in a few months, year or so, things will slowly return to normal. So it's just, I don't know. It really varies on the day. Like, check back in with me tomorrow. It may be completely different. So I'm currently trying to navigate it, but I'm definitely overall a positive person. So I'm trying to go in that direction and get somewhere because I know that eventually it'll all be okay, and it's just a matter of time.
That's a good attitude. I mean,
I'm trying.
It's hard, right? You get out,
Yeah.
you expect to go one way, but I mean, I think that's life in general. So you get the nice, tough life lesson early in life. You're like,
exactly.
Another lecture from a parent. But it's really true. When you think about it, adapt and overcome is something that I wish that they taught in school. But unfortunately, it's something that you learn in life where you I always say discipline over distraction, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know what your mission is and you know this will end eventually.
Exactly.
And you have to keep pushing forward. And you're allowed to put your head down on some days. You're allowed to. We all have those days where you're allowed to. I mean, we all have them. I know people are like, God, fine. I've been fine for 8 weeks. And you're like, no, you haven't. Mentally taxing. Yeah. You're stuck in your house. But I just think for you, it has to be really hard because this is supposed to be the fun time, right? I mean, I know I got goosebumps thinking about you're supposed to be having fun. This
20s is in the city. That's my thought. Right? That's always been my game plan. 20s in New York City. And then this happened. It's like, okay, we're gonna delay that a little bit, but we'll get there.
Just make us feel old. No big deal.
just wait a few weeks, months. We'll get through it.
Yeah. But it's definitely been mixed.
You have an amazing website, and like I said, you have a side hustle.
You.
Our side hustles. Are we allowed to say side hustle? We're saying side hustle. Yeah. I called you earlier.
We'll roll with it. We'll roll with it.
But so your side hustle is you are a social media maven. I like calling people mavens.
No.
Jordan's like, you call me that. Call me the maven.
That's so funny. Yes. I have my roommates make fun of me for it at college because I started it while I was at school. I just came back home, but I got really into, like a lot of people. I mean, I'm 22 and TikTok is meant more for teenagers, and I laughed at it at first and definitely made fun of it. I'm not going to lie, because one of my roommates got it, and then I got really into it and have been like slowly building a follower base. And so that's been really exciting. It gives me something to do. And also sometimes like I'll edit them on my computer, like in Premiere, just cause. And I'm like, you know what, let me like keep practicing some editing skills. And now a lot of companies on applications for a lot of social media roles are requesting, TikTok knowledge. Like I applied for a job a few months ago before I really got into TikTok that was like asking about, do you know TikTok? Do you know how it works? Like how to efficiently post and create content for it. And I was like, oh my God, okay, I like need to step it up. So here I am now, and trying to get into that realm. And so I'm slowly building my follower base. Yeah, it's like very gay TikToks. There's a whole side of like gay TikTok. That's great. But it's been really fun getting to do that and then just like practice my skills for eventually creating content for a fashion brand.
I like that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, TikTok is not just for kids.
Oh no, now it's a whole thing. Everyone now, I think honestly, TikTok has benefited so much from quarantine. Just everyone's going to TikTok and it's great. It's it's addicting. It's concerning. I spend a concerning amount of time on there, but we're working on it.
So
have you been able to?
So we'll stay on the TikTok topic real fast.
Yeah.
Who's your who out of all your TikTokers? I'll tell you mine. My favorite TikToker is, well, I watch him a lot on YouTube, is Trey Kennedy is one. Trey Kennedy.
He was on Vine when Vine was a thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then, well, he just did this great little, whatever he calls him, his short film, where he was, what if social media was a family? And they pick on Vine. So it's hilarious. Like they've got the YouTuber down perfect, and they pick on TikTok, calling it the new Vine, which is also funny. But I love the You Betcha guy. I forget his real name, but You Betcha. It's based out of Wisconsin. And so he's always like picking on.
Okay, I need to look at that one.
You need to look at it. It's good. And then, of course, TMR, or the Marine Rapper, because he's on our show a lot. He's taken his TikTok from like 0 followers. When he was on here last Thursday, he had 85,000. This weekend, he hit 100K, which is
my God. Yeah, I'm on like 4,000, 4,500. We're slow. We're getting there. Not at that level.
5. I'm at 5.
Proud of you.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'll follow
my
you.
Quarantine hobby.
I'll follow you. I got you.
Hold on. Let me go see how bad mine are. Now you guys, maybe I'm going to shame myself right here.
I have to ask you, Andie, though, like the unique thing with TikTok, especially because what you want to do, you think it's been a really great showcase of your portfolio and your skill set? So
that's another thing. I think in the future, I want to make more videos that utilize editing. And I think it has, just because a lot of times, like during interviews, employers really do look at your social media accounts. And I think that if I get to a point that my follower count gets high enough, like I'll use it more as a leverage and an asset when interviewing, being like, hi, I know how to reach an audience and gear my content towards that, interact with people, edit as well. So I think that it's slowly, hopefully, going to become something that I can publicize and show that, hi, I can build a brand for you through this content and actually reach people and interact with them. I think that's something that's hard and really important today, especially that I've learned through fashion and in college, is that like building a relationship with your consumer. And so I think that it will hopefully eventually be an asset for me when I am interviewing in the future. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Well,
Thank you.
We want to thank you for coming on. And again, I can speak English, I swear. Congratulations. I swear. Wow. I was trying to say congratulations. Another sentences all at once. So congratulations again for your awesome.
Thank you.
The Aussie thing, and I know,
yeah, medal.
You got it. Yeah.
But congratulations. That is seriously an amazing accomplishment. You deserve it. We'll give you we'll cheers for you right now. Everybody out there, go and follow right now and give a cheer. Everybody cheer. The people who are watching, you better cheer. I want to hear cheering.
Thank you.
We're giving you a virtual high five too.
I appreciate it. I'll virtually throw my cap.
There you go. Throw your cap. We love it. So thank you for coming back on. We'll have to have you back on to kind of do a check to see how you're doing, and if there's anything that we can help you with. Go follow you on TikTok. I know I'm going to, with me and my like 5 followers.
I appreciate it.
Maybe you can follow me back and give me some street cred, because I'm like bad. It's like,
I got you. I'll help you out. Give you a shout out.
Nice.
Sticks. like 6 people. Jordan said 5 and she meant 5,000. I'm like 5 and meaning 5.
Hi.
5.
Oh
Judge.
my
But
God.
thank you so much for joining us today. We appreciate you, and we'll see you very soon.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Let's get to the point.